Let's talk about NSync. So, Us Weekly was out here talking about that NSYNC were in talk, and I remember we went back and forth on this. We were talking about NSYNC have been in negotiations to talk about a possible comeback. They're going to go out and perform, which I think would be a great idea because the Backstreet Boys have still been together. They're kicking ass at the Sphere. I don't think their new residency has started up yet, but they've negotiated a really big deal. They were successful with their first run. Now they're about to do another run. They're gonna make more money doing that. And I was like, well, yeah, NSYNC, I definitely feel like they need to come back as well. But it seems like that comeback is short lived and it's due to Justin Timberlake. But it's not all Justin Timberlake for like normally we come up here and windmill on him, but it's because of his Lyme disease diagnosis that he's like, I can't come back and do the tour. This is definitely going to ruin the tour, apparently. So it looks like NSYNC is saying bye, bye, bye to a reunion, at least for now. Now, the iconic boy band has been closer than ever to getting back together for a massive stadium tour, but multiple sources exclusively tell Us Weekly that their plans are now on hold indefinitely. And I say indefinitely, do y'all mean indefinitely like how y'all was about Jimmy Kimmel? Then a week later, he back at the job. So now, while one insider says JC Chazé, Lance Bass, Joey Fatone, and Chris Kirkpatrick were all on board, the timing wasn't right for Justin Timberlake because he was on his solo Forget Tomorrow World Tour from April 2024 until this past July and is now battling Lyme disease. Yeah, so he was on like a year, what was like 15 months he was out there touring. That's crazy. But this is what a lot of the artists have to do. Now, Timberlake, who's 44, announces relentlessly debilitating diagnosis the day after his final show, writing in part via Instagram, quote, I honestly don't know what my future is on stage, but I'll also cherish this run and all of them before. Well, I feel like, you know what? Justin has had a good run. He's got the bops. We like the songs and everything, despite, you know, his behavior and attitude and how we don't like him because of on the strength of Janet and Brittany, but Justin got the box. Now, if you're at a point in your life where you are so sick and you're trying to figure out how to navigate through this early stages of Lyme disease that you can't um tour and perform and stuff, then don't do it. But honestly, I feel like what needs to happen is that instead of doing like this big traveling tour, if it's going to take an effect on him as a person, do a residency. I know some people be like, "Oh, that's copying off Backstreet Boys." So ain't no new original ideas going around in the world. I mean, okay, so they had that deal. Let me get one of them deals too, and split it 5 ways or whatever the case is. Justin got enough money anyway. Quiet as it's kept, but um, for the most part, the nostalgia fans, which would be my generation, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't mind a NSYNC reunion. I was an NSYNC fan. I was more or less a Boys fan, quite to be honest. I was more of a Backstreet Boys fan than an NSYNC fan, and I think it's probably because Backstreet Boys were around a lot longer and they put out more records and they stayed together despite everything that was going on. They understood over 30 years, we still maintain it as a group. Them New Kids on the Block still out here making music. 98 Degrees too, which one the other day I saw a video of them performing a thong song. And I was like, and this is exactly why y'all were at the bottom of the totem pole in regards of boy bands. Because what is that mess? Y'all up in there trying to do the thong. So I'm like, no, we do not want to see Nick Lachey trying to do that. Although I will say this, Nick Lachey was fine as hell back in the day. I was living for Nick Lachey. He was like the pretty one out of all the boy band types. But then he just like I guess after seeing that reality show with him and Jessica Simpson and seeing how he was coming across over the years, became a huge turnoff. So an insider knows that Shazay, who's 49, damn, you know the oldest one is Chris Kirkpatrick. He's 53. The youngest, I guess, would be Justin, because Justin's 44. Because JC is 49, Lance is 46, Fatone is 48, Kirkpatrick is 40, I mean, it's 53. So yeah, Justin's the youngest. They said they don't want to hit the road without Timberlake, who they publicly supported following his health update. And then that's when, they sent out all their little loves and things for him. Like Lance Bass sent out something. Chris said, I've always known my little bro was tough, but this tour showed me a whole new level of strength. Watching him battle Lyme disease day in and day out while still getting on that stage night after night was something I'll never forget. The long days, the travel, the exhaustion, and yet he never gave up. No complaints, no excuses, just heart, grit, and pure determination. That kind of resilience is rare. Well, that also comes with the generation in which he grew up, which would be my generation. Because if we're told that, no, you got to suck it up, even if you got the pain, whatever the case is, push through. You don't want to disappoint the fans or whatever. You'll get this new generation, you Gen Zers or Justin Bieber, they'll be like, "Oh, I got a pain in my finger. I'm canceling," and people be looking like, "The hell's wrong with y'all?" But like my generation and more, I'm not saying that that's a flex or whatever, but it's just like, yeah, we pipe through the pain. Whatever ailments and stuff we going through, we don't want to disappoint the fans. So unfortunately, we just do what we got to do to, and then you have your doctors or whatever else is on standby that will help keep you, you know, up and ready to the best of your ability. So, Kirkpatrick also continued said tour life is already a grind, but doing it while fighting Lyme disease, that's superhero status. Here's the strength, perseverance, and one hell of a tour. Love you, little bro. Now, NSYNC has reunited, as we already know, several times over the years. They went to the 2013 MTV VMAs, where they performed a couple of their hits. They haven't performed live since 2002. That's over 2 decades. And when then they joined together on a song for the Trolls movie, right? And then when Justin was out promoting his new album, he basically what was it? Oh, when he went to promote his new album, whatever case, he brought out NSYNC and all of them, and everybody always kind of felt like, oh, here he go, using them as a crutch. Whenever he want to promote or do whatever, or get himself out of a little controversy, he want to trot all the members of NSYNC out like they're a little, bunch of props. And they happy to be there, so they're gonna go along and get along. I do wonder how a lot of them have been surviving post uh the NSYNC breaking up. Because Justin's the one that's had the career. I know Lance has he does he's now in the whole bar scene. Like he had one of the bars closed that I know was in West Hollywood. I don't know the status of all his other businesses, but I know he's gotten into the gay bar and club scene. Joey has been, I know he's been in and on and off Broadway performing, and he's been doing like reality shows and stuff. Chris, I haven't seen anything in a while. I know he did do Big Celebrity Big Brother. I remember that. But he got into it with Todrick. I do remember that. But I haven't really seen him in a whole lot of other stuff since. And JC, still cute. Um, JC's been out here doing things every now. I don't remember he was working on doing some type of show, whatever, like a musical, I guess, or something he was working on, but we ain't really heard much from him. So while I would love to see an NSYNC reunion, and I'm hoping and praying that it happens, just like we still wait on this Destiny's Child reunion. We need that to happen too. I just hope that Justin is able to find a way to get it together in his situation so that way he can, get out there and give us a show. But if it comes down to it, I feel like maybe what will work is a residency. But I know like him having to get in, they got to rehearse and do all other stuff. I know that's probably going to be a lot for him too, especially if you're dealing with Lyme disease, you have to think about all the preparation that comes up to putting on a show. It's not like NSYNC just gets up on stage and just holds a microphone and just starts singing. They do choreography too. So all of that's got to come into place as well. So I get it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the rumors swirling, courtesy of Us Weekly, that NSYNC are looking to? They were planning on doing they were planning on going on doing a stadium tour, that sort of thing. And now because of Justin's illness, recent diagnosed illness, it's not happening. Some people think that he's lying about the whole Lyme disease and thinking that this is what he's saying to cover up an alcoholism situation. I don't know. I don't work with him. I'm not his doctor. So I don't know what's going on with him. But if he say he got Lyme disease, I'm inclined to just go along with it until proven otherwise. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.